So if you're here right now, you already know the introduction. We did it last time. So
Okay, praise be to Allah.
you want to get into the topic of discussion?
Yes. Oh, you want me to? Okay,
Are
no
we muted?
problem. Top. Huh?
Are we muted?
No, they said they can hear us. So the topic of discussion today is basically our reflection of 2021 and our goals for 2022.
Yay!
Very much. Let's hurry up and have this conversation before something else happens. That was really strange.
Yes. Okay. Well, I guess I can ask the first question.
Please, be my guest.
What were your 2021 goals, and did you accomplish any of them?
All right. So,
Can you put that in the comments? I'm just gonna type it.
okay, thank you. Are you saying can I pin it in the comments?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. So each year I actually write down in a notebook that I never look at ever again what I'm going to do in the new year. So I did write down my list. However, the location that I'm at right now, I don't have it. But I know my list probably went something along the lines of like mend my relationships with my family, start my business, make my business official, whatever. Have my own garden, possibly.
Pin.
What are you saying?
I'm sorry to
Oh,
cut you off.
pin.
Pin in the comments. Yes.
Got you. Okay, but this year, 2021, I actually did start my own business. And I did create a name for myself, and I did make a lot more sufficient in my life than it's ever been before. And I'm sure that was something on my list. So I'll praise it to Allah. I believe I did get a lot of things accomplished on my list and more. What about you, Anara?
Praise be to Allah. I actually have a list. It's on my wall. I'm gonna go get it real quick.
I'll share my list next time.
There's a lot of quotes attached to them because when I hear things, I have to write them down. But this is my list.
I printed it.
Oh my goals. Yeah, because I have to see it. If I don't see it, I'm gonna forget about it. But looking at the list, I did a lot of them, not all of them, because my year did not go how I thought it was gonna go. Honestly, I didn't have any plans. I did have plans, but life is just, so unpredictable. I got really busy because I was working. So I couldn't really do the things I want to. But main goals that I did have for this year that I really was able to accomplish in like 3 months, which was cool, was get a new car. I got a brand new car, paid it in cash in March.
Yeah.
What else was my goal? My other goal was to create a consistent income, and I did do that, which was great. All praise due to Allah. I put maintain my childlike mindset, which I still have. So all praise due to Allah for that. That's pretty much all I did accomplish. I put travel, but some of the places that I put don't make sense anymore. And I put maintain my inner peace, which I think that I have done a really good job at, which I'm proud of. So meditation, self-care, prayer. So yeah, wow. Praise God. Good job, Nora.
Good job, Anora.
I did.
So proud of you.
I did do my goals. And if anybody has problems with their goals, write them down and put them on the wall somewhere where you can look at them every day so you can remember them. Because I will make lists every year and they would just be a list in a notebook in a cabinet somewhere because I'm not looking at it. I don't care about it anymore. So when you're serious about it, like you really want to do some things, write it down, put it on the wall. Even if you want to get even serious or just more strict about it, create a note, make it your profile. I mean, cover photo for your phone so you can look at it every time you pick up your phone. Because that's up, well, that works. I did that for my car, I did it for my apartment and my job. So
That's a wonderful idea. You are
do
being
it.
like Anura. Don't follow me. I write my stuff down in my book and I don't look at it ever again.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, my
No.
screensaver is my cat. But
Yeah.
you know what? One of my goals, while you were talking, I remembered this. Eat healthier. That was one of my goals. And I definitely do. I cook all my stuff, made my own bread this year. I make my own drinks, and
Make her own juice.
I praise it to Allah. I've become a chef.
Praise to Allah. Well, that's good. We did some damage in 2021. Not bad damage, but
Oh, I was about to be like, what?
But
Oh, another one of my goals that I do remember was probably something like focus more on school, because I'm in my 3rd year of school now, of college, in the College of Architecture. And before, I had been working every semester since my senior year of high school. And yeah, I worked so much that I wasn't able to, focus on school, which is very important, especially in my 3rd year. So I was kind of slacking off in school. But this year, I'm not working as much, and I have been able to focus on school, get my work done. All praises due to Allah. But let me answer this question real fast. Although I do make smoothies, I rarely make smoothies. I actually I juice different fruits and veggies, mainly fruits, and then I also boil a lot of fruits and whatnot. So I just make my own drinks, period. Am I frozen? Anura? Is Anura frozen? Oh.
I ain't gonna touch nothing again. I'm done.
That was you? That was your fault? Well.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I clicked the button and then all of a sudden I'm gone. Oh well. But we back.
Why did you click a button?
Because buttons are meant to be clicked. That's why.
And now look, I don't know what's happening. I can't see anything I wrote.
This is really funny. But that's fine. You don't need to see it. We can move on to the next question. This is supposed to come off the dome anyway. So from the months January 2021 to June 2021, what was a highlight? And then what was the biggest lesson that you had?
Okay. A highlight for me within those months would have to be, I'm pretty sure this occurred during those months. Yeah, I think it happened in June, maybe, possibly, something like that. Would have to be I Deny, Divine Essence in You. That was an amazing moment for me. That was a moment in history, okay? So basically, huh?
That wasn't the beginning of this year.
Yes, when we were given the instruction, yes, it was. But we skipped the month of August kind of working on it. And then September was when we had our first event. So I'm pretty sure it was June. But anyways, let me have my moment, okay? Let me have my moment. I Deny, Divine Essence in You. It was sparked from the Reflecting Farrakhan challenge that took place in, see, Amira said yes, it was, Anura.
I don't remember.
Right. Reflecting Farrakhan was in February. So yeah, the Reflecting Farrakhan challenge was in February. And pretty much it was a 30-day challenge where the MGT and GCC, the Muslim Girls in Training, the Women in the Nation of Islam, we basically did a challenge where we showed what we do in the nation and shared all that we have and who we look up to and what we do as women in the Nation of Islam, because nobody really knows that. There's like Yeah. But yeah, it was a very nice moment. And our sister captain had a meeting with Honorable Minister Farrakhan. And after that, he was basically saying that he wanted the Vanguard to stay on social media. Please excuse that.
Talking about the Reflecting Farrakhan now.
Well, I was giving a background of what happened. Yeah, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan said that he wanted the NGT to stay on social media, in particular the Vanguard. And so through that, ID9 was born. Yeah. And now we have the NGT and GCC have an organization for the sisters who are registered, who aren't registered. Random, any sisters, welcome to join our events from all over the world, no matter how old you are, no matter what religion you are, no matter what race you are. You're free to join, and it's just something to empower you, to uplift you, give you some encouragement. Yeah, that's what it was. And through that, it gave me purpose, and that was really nice. Do I have to give a lesson now? Can I think about my lesson?
Highlight was odd and I. So the lesson.
I guess the lesson would be the lesson would be, I feel like I'm being quizzed right now. Basically, although you may have plans for your life, and because I still don't have any notes at the moment. Although you may have plans for your life and have plans for your year and be like, I'm going to do this, I'm not going to do that. There's always something else that may happen. And that is because Allah, God, is the best of planners. And He is the all-knowing. And so, yeah, you may plan for something else to happen, but this may happen instead because it was meant to be. Everything's not going to go our way.
It will not. It's not meant to. Praise be to Allah. Thank you for sharing. Is it my turn?
That made some sense. Yes, it's your turn. What was your highlight from January to June? And what was the lesson you got from the
a highlight? There's a lot of moments. A lot of happy times. But I think probably the highlight was getting the car. That was a great day because I raised the money for the car, but I practically didn't have to put like anything towards it because the money came from all these different places. And for me, that was just like, whoa, what is this? What is this power that I hold? And it was just, I don't know, it was just a very spiritual and like beautiful moment in time. And then like a few days after that, I got a raise at my job and I was no longer struggling to pay bills or just do anything. So that was a great week. Of course, the Reflecting Farrakhan Challenge was amazing. But like that week in March, I don't think anything topped that. That was amazing.
Praise be to Allah.
And I turned 22, which is pretty nice. That was kind of a sad day though. So I wouldn't consider that a highlight. I was gonna that on my birthday. But lesson. Ooh, the biggest lesson I learned was that Allah God, in fact, came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. That was the biggest lesson. I think I had my first non-nation kind of podcast interview. Don't remember when this was. And they questioned me about the nation and about the teachings and stuff. And I was a little afraid because I didn't feel like, what if they ask something I'm not going to be able to answer? I don't know how I'll do this. But the way that I answered the questions and just me being me and simplifying things, like he understood it, the person who was interviewing me, and he had a a newfound view of the Nation of Islam because of the way I explained everything. And like from that moment, I was just like, wow. There was a few other things that happened, but something
Wow.
with that moment kind of made everything like just kind of pieced everything together. That and the car thing, um, all of that, and then Savior's Day, the Miss Louis Farrakhan saying, "When you desire something, I can do is pray, put in the work, go after the people, and Allah will give you what you want." That kind of stuck with me. So I don't know. That whole February to March, that was my highlight at the beginning of this year because it was amazing. Um, and that's also my lesson too. You know, God came in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad. And I believe that wholeheartedly now. And I know it as a fact. So that was my lesson.
Praise be to Allah. Oh, that's so beautiful.
All right. Now, July through December. What is the highlight? Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should have been thinking about that while you were talking.
But when it comes to the
Oh,
Quran, I'm sorry to cut you off. I want to head off
no, go
this
ahead, go ahead.
comment. But when it comes to the Quran, now that I have an understanding of it, it is easier to comprehend. So I think, understanding the teachings better helps you understand so many other things. The Bible, the Old Quran, all that stuff. But I'm
Yeah.
sorry to cut you off. You were speaking.
Um, okay. I just thought of my lesson, but then I kind of just forgot. I guess I'll say my lesson first. My lesson from the second half of the year, or maybe even the first half of the year, or just the lesson overall that I got was also in accordance with the teachings, because I just, after reflection and learning everything and making everything make sense, because I say this year I really learned a lot about what everything truly means, like certain phrases that are said in the nation. I kind of made it a goal, in a sense, to understand and make some sense out of these things. Like, for example, a nation can rise no higher than its woman, um, and many more. But my lesson, I guess, from the teachings this year.
Highlight.
I know I'm saying my lesson first because it has nothing to do with my highlight, and it just came to my head. The teachings make so much sense. If you think about, if you think about what we're taught outside of the Nation of Islam and everything, you just have so many questions, because it's just like, okay, wait a minute, how do you get from here to here? Like, there's a missing piece somewhere. And in the Nation of Islam, we have all of those missing pieces and the actual truth, that we're not taught. But anyways, we have those missing pieces, and so everything clicks and it makes sense. And through what I've learned in the Nation of Islam, I have a greater understanding of pretty much everything. And when I have conversations with people, I'm just able to share with them different things that I didn't know, or maybe I did before I got registered, because my mother is in the Nation of Islam as well. So I grew up learning things, realizing that, wow, other people don't know this, they don't have access to the information. I thought that was just a common sense thing. I thought everybody knew this. But it's just like, wow. So I've learned how valuable the teachings are. I guess that's my lesson. I knew they were valuable. But anyways, my highlight would have to be meeting my two best friends. I met them earlier this year, but we became like best friends, or sisters, I'll say, not best friends. Sisters, in the last months of the year. One of them being Anura, and the other one being Amira. We became very close. And through them, I have learned many, many things. Many, many things. And, the different lives that we all have, the different things that we all experience, and the different things that we all go through, the different struggles that people have, because we're all from three way totally different places. We've had three totally different upbringings. And so it's beautiful to be able to see where people come from and where they're at now. And how with what they went through growing up and what they learned growing up, how they decide to live their lives now. So what about you, Anura? What was your highlight from July to the end of the year?
I have more than one. It's a lot.
Look, go on.
But when was July? August. Dang, man, this year flew by. What did I do in August? Oh, I went to Texas. That's good. And I went to Tennessee. Highlight. I guess I'll go over one. One would be I did some solo traveling this year. What was that? August, like the end of August, I went to Texas for the first time by myself with no guidance or like anyone older than me telling me to do things or go places. So that was kind of a very big. And not only that, I took my first solo trip to Disneyland, and oh my goodness, best trip I've ever had in my entire life thus far, because I don't know, it's just something beautiful about doing things on your own. And it was a little fear that I had of doing something like that by myself. That's kind of the main reason why I wanted to go. And I knew that there was probably not going to be a better time to do it because the way the world is going. And I don't know, I just really want to do that. So that was the highlight. That was amazing. The I and I event, our first event, that's a highlight. That was life changing. Oh my goodness. And that was fun. That was what was that? September or October? I keep getting the months mixed up. September. Yeah, September. That was the highlight.
No, it was October 15th or October 25th.
October. That was a highlight. And really meeting and getting to know and growing closer to Nyah-T.
Oh.
That's the highlight. If not the greatest highlight of the year.
Oh.
And then the lesson would be teamwork makes the dream work. Working by yourself, okay. But working with other people, please do it. Don't think you gotta do everything by yourself, no matter what it is. Ask for help. You will be so much less stressful when you can just call on someone else to do something. A good friend. Someone you can really just count on and you just know that they're gonna help. But really, that was my biggest lesson, really, of this year. That independence is whack, and you need people, and we were put on this earth with other people for a reason. So, asking for help, accepting help, getting help when you need it, and not just doing everything the difficult way. I learned that a big thing for me was the self-checkout thing because I felt like I didn't need to or want to talk to anybody. But I remember one day I almost passed out because I was just doing too much grocery shopping because I felt the need that I just couldn't talk to anybody and I had to do it myself. When I could have just went to the register with the people. So that was my big thing,
What?
Working in a team
Huh?
and not doing everything yourself. That's my lesson.
Are you coming for me right now?
No! I told you, if I say things and it impacts you, that means that you agree.
Yeah.
Something you're going through.
But no,
I
I
am that
definitely,
way.
because honestly, there is no way that I could do a lot of the things that I'm doing by myself. Like, if I were to just be in ID9 by myself, there would be no ID9. There would be no anything. We are a team. Myself, Honora, Amira, Medina, Sabbath. We are a team. We work together, and we all bring different things to the table. That's what I've learned too. In addition to what you were saying,
Yeah.
every person brings a different thing to the table. None of our minds work the same. You know what I'm thinking right now? Even if Honora and I are watching the same movie, what's going through my head is different from what's going through her head. She has a different look on it. She has a different view on it. So everybody has different things to share. Don't ever think that you just got all of it. It's always wonderful to have somebody else's opinion.
Yes.
Can I add on another lesson I learned? I actually got a couple lessons. I don't think about it, but
We have to move on. Can you do like one?
wait. Okay, one last thing.
Okay.
I've learned this year, not that I didn't know before, but it just, I don't know. Sometimes things just, I don't know. But Allah has my back. I
Oh
know
yeah, that too.
Allah has my back. I knew Allah had my back, but Allah really got my back, and He has shown me this year because okay, but yes, my dad is knocking on the window for some reason, but I have received so many blessings this year and so many different things, I just wasn't expecting. Sometimes I'll be like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I really don't know what I'm going to do. I'm having issues with this. I'm having issues with money, whatnot. And then Allah blesses me. Allah just showed me they bless me. But yeah, that was a lesson for me.
I forgot to add that.
Yeah. Allah
That's
got
a
it.
lesson for me too. That if no one else got you,
Allah got you.
Allah got you. Like every time, all the time.
No
And
matter what.
yeah, that's something I came to terms with being on my own.
Yeah.
Spending a lot of time in my own headspace, in my own space. There were times where I did not think that I never doubted anything. I've always had a very decent amount of faith, but I knew something would come through. But yeah, because I'm like on my own and I have to go navigate and go about the world by myself, it just made me be like, hey, I'm not really alone. He got me no matter where I am. And so that idea is what helped me travel all across this country this year by myself.
Yeah.
And just have the confidence to do it. Because he ain't gonna let nothing happen to me. And even if he do, I mean I can't really do anything about it because it's in his will. But
Yeah.
nothing ever happens. A lot of times it's in my head. So
Yeah.
that's my thought.
You all, everything happens for a reason. And there is absolutely no such thing as a coincidence. And that was just really made even more obvious this year for me. I'm going to give you a quick example, and then we move on. So basically, in school, I go to UIC, and to attend school, you have to be vaccinated.
No one knows what that is.
Yes, they do. You have to be vaccinated. And obviously, I am not vaccinated. I will stand firmly on what I believe because that is truly what I believe to not be vaccinated. But anyway, so I had a religious exemption form, filled that out, submitted it, and then I had issues with it 10 weeks into school. And that's when they wanted to tell me. And then they wanted to call, they didn't call me. They only sent me an email saying that something about me violating something and that I can't come back to school until I'm vaccinated. And I'm like, what? And so I'm freaking out. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I leave school that day. And I was I ended up being out of school for 2 weeks. But during these 2 weeks, I went to Mexico. I went to Mexico and I was able to do a project for the MGT that I needed to do, and I didn't know how I was going to do that when I had all this stuff going on with school and whatnot. So basically, I had like a nice 2-week break, and I got to apply for the religious exemption form. I made an appeal, and they approved it, and so it was like all good, and I was able to use those 2 weeks for good. And I was just like, wow, everything happens for a reason. I wouldn't have been able to complete that project for the MGT if it had not been for that. And then at the end of the semester, my professor gave me an extension to complete my project. So that was just beautiful. Like, wow. But yeah.
Yeah. Everything's divine.
Everything is divine.
Try not to stress about everything.
Allah really got it.
Sometimes, things are delayed a little bit to test your faith, but
yeah.
But moving on. We pretty much already went over our takeaways, didn't we? Like our takeaways in here? Yeah.
Does that mean I can say one more thing?
No. Well,
you guys hear this?
Whatever it is. Well, whatever it is, I don't know how long we've been speaking. If you click on like the live, it'll tell you how long.
Huh?
How long have we been speaking? If you click on the live, it'll tell you how long we've been.
What do you mean click on the live?
Just click on it and it'll tell you how long.
34 minutes. We've been on for 34 minutes. That's cool. I didn't know this possible.
Wow, that's not that long. Well, go ahead.
Oh, Amira said this is her favorite live so far. It's because we've been talking about Amira, how much we love her.
I think it's the energy. Yeah, Amira, you should have joined the live.
Yeah. Maybe next time.
Regrets. That's because we having fun, and you see us having fun, and you sad now.
I never have regrets.
Your fault.
But okay, since Anura didn't say anything, I'm just going to say this last thing. I learned this year that I already knew, but we are never ever finished evolving and growing. Like, obviously, with each year, you're going to learn some more. You're going to go through some things. You're going to grow as an individual. But, oh my God, I was a little lost. And I was like, I didn't know where to. Actually, I feel like this was last year. But I didn't know what else to do and what other way can I progress. Like, I felt like I was at a blocking point. And then Allah sent me a blessing. And I was able to grow past that point. So just, you all never forget, there's always more to grow. There's always more to learn. You are not the final version of yourself yet. Don't forget that.
Yeah, and you today is not you tomorrow. That is so real. I love it. I'm like addicted to self-development and like growth now. Every single year, I am not the same person. Every single week, month, day, I am not the same person. And it kind of just makes me not tolerate people who are like stagnant, because I just grow and evolve so much. And it's like, dang, you still doing that? We done told you the solution. We done told you still okay. Go ahead and do it. I ain't gonna deal with it, but yeah, pretty much what Nyah said. Growth is what we're supposed to be doing. I have a quote somewhere.
Me too.
What is it?
My quote was something about if doing anything, or if you're not like facing any trials or something about you not doing enough, or not, like, I don't know.
It says, and this was from, what's his name? His name is Sean. And he used to do like our morning meetings when I was at work.
Big Sean?
But he said, his name is Sean. His name is Sean.
Oh,
he said, you are either growing or dying. Nothing in nature is in stagnation. So like,
wow,
we're supposed to be growing every single day. If you're not growing, you are literally dying. So remember that. Bring that into 2022, because who wants to just sit around and die when you can grow?
Yeah. If you're not growing, what are you doing, man?
Yeah. Get yourself in the right
to not do anything. You're alive for a reason. Just think about what that reason may be and do something.
Surround yourself with growers, because sometimes we around people who stuck and stagnant, and that's why we stuck and stagnant.
Yeah.
Be around growers. Be around bosses. Be around people who out here doing things with their lives. It'll rub off on you.
Do it.
So moving on. Dang, I really kind of want to go to takeaways, but we already did that.
Yeah, we did. So what was after that?
Well, this is more so for me. I don't know if you do this type of thing, but what was your favorite song, album, or new artist that you were put on to this year?
You want me to answer that first?
Mm-hmm.
Anira, I know that you know that I listen to old music. So,
well, what song? You didn't have a song that you listened to that you were like obsessed with for maybe a month, a few weeks, at any point this year?
Not that I recall. I don't normally become obsessed with songs.
Dang,
but one song that I do like is "The Truth" by India Ari. I love Erykah Badu, India Ari, Lauryn Hill, and some other people. But I don't have a specific artist or an album from this year that I really like.
Shame.
Not ashamed, but yeah, I can give y'all some good artists, but not necessarily from this year. Like Samantha, I like Coi Leray, but I don't really listen to her that much.
That's a lie.
You said that's a lie? No, that's true. I don't listen to her that much. But what about you, Amira? Anura. That is so funny. I just looked at Amira's name.
Yeah, she asked you a question. Go right ahead and answer, Maria.
Yeah, Amira, you might as well answer.
Bro, why is that?
But Mexico, no, I actually went for a wedding and there was not. We had to be negative to get back. But yeah, that was pretty much it.
Favorite song?
I do miss you.
What is my favorite song? I don't have favorites. I have songs that I have that are favorites in the moment, and then it's released.
I have a favorite movie from this year now.
Wait, we ain't get there yet.
Hurry up so we can get there. Hurry up.
My favorite song this year, Good Days by Scissor Salad. Song of the year. I'll never forget. It came out the day I got my house keys for my apartment. And I remember listening to it and like almost crying because 2020 was crazy. And I was like, good days are ahead. And I just listened to it over and over and over again this entire year. It's still one of the greatest songs I've ever heard in my life. It's just so happy and pretty. And that is the song of the year. Good Days. If anyone else, have a favorite song this year, you feel free to drop it in the comments. Favorite album?
Adele. For you,
Adele's good.
Is that what you call her?
Adele.
I love Nas.
Who else dropped this year? Nas, that's my pops. Old people music.
You listen to Nas?
No. I said that's my pops. Old people music. Well, what was my favorite album? I think my favorite album was by this band called Midnight Trust. Pretty sure that was this year. They're alternative and they play some pretty fire music. And my favorite new artist that I discovered this year was the Maritas. The Marias. Their music is a mix between Spanish and English, and I like it a lot. So, yeah, those are my. Did I say? Oh, yeah, that's my music this year. As of right now. Music. Yeah, I gotta play you this song. It's very beautiful and I love it.
Beautiful
music so much. I don't think y'all understand. I don't think no one will ever understand. I don't know why. I think I do know why. Both of my parents love music, but I just love music. It's just, it does something to my soul.
I love music, but I don't think I'm like a Nora when it comes to music. Oh my God.
It does something. I know you're dropping stuff. Like,
that's because you took that magazine.
okay.
But it's okay. It's okay, Daddy. You don't need to come get me camera.
Music moves me to tears sometimes.
Music does not move me to tears.
I feel it. But what was the next one? All
My
right.
favorite movie.
Favorite movie of the year. Top 3.
I
I'm
just
a movie
watched
person,
it
so
yesterday. Shang-Chi. Or
so late.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi in the last 10 under 10 rings.
Yes, in the last 10 rings. No, in the 10 rings.
In the 10
That was
rings.
such a good movie. I watched it last night. I was texting Nora like, oh my God. Oh my God. What
Great.
is this? This is like perfectly crafted. Just for me. I didn't see Spider-Man yet. So
Top 3.
I don't know. I don't know about that one. I have a list.
I'm talking about that you've seen this year. You don't really watch movies like that.
That I saw this year?
Yeah.
Memoirs of a Geisha. Oh my God. Anura's gonna watch that movie
this year?
Yeah, I saw that this year. It didn't come out this year, but I saw it this year. Memoirs of a Geisha. That movie had you so emotional. Oh my God. I was like,
I'll see.
That's 2 movies. You could tell us yours. I don't know a third one yet. The movie of life. My dreams, if that counts.
For big stuff, so, and I've seen so many movies, which is no problem. But number 1, of course, Spider-Man: No Way Home. Of course. Nothing beats that. But what else came out this year? What else was pretty good? Shang-Chi. That was good. Until I seen Spider-Man, that was my number 1. Because it was so much fun. I love the music.
Am I like the only person who hasn't seen it yet?
Probably.
I'll be singing.
Lame. But yeah, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, or just 10 Rings, is number 2.
There's a movie I watched because of Amira and Anora and our team, and I was not expecting that. It was called For Black Girls. For Black Girls, that's called?
For Colored Girls.
For Colored Girls.
That was the best movie you seen, huh?
No.
Oh!
That was not.
Wow, Black Widow came out this year.
What came out?
Black Widow. That movie was alright. Now that I've been seeing Shang-Chi and Spider-Man, that movie was trash compared to that. But
I need to see Spider-Man.
No Time to Die. James Bond. I've never seen a James Bond movie in my life until I seen that.
The name's Bond.
Oh my goodness, it was so good. Very good.
I don't think I saw it this year.
Yeah.
You talking about the original James Bond movie? Or a new one that came out?
You got Cruella. Didn't you like Cruella?
I did like Cruella, but I wouldn't say that was my favorite. Did I tell you it's my favorite? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Exactly.
We're talking about movies that came out this year. So
Hidden
that's
Figures was good.
You said what?
But it didn't come out this year. I said Hidden Figures was good. I played that for students at my high school. We watched it together. We had a movie night.
The movie had me
in February.
Black
Black History Month.
Yeah, those are my 3. No Time to Die, Spider-Man: No Way Home, Shang-Chi.
Hold on. I'm gonna think I do have another one.
I don't know. Nothing else did it for me. This year was kind of weak on movies. I watched a lot of stuff that I've seen over and over again because that's just what I do.
Encanto, that was cute.
Encanto was cute. I love the colors, and
I wouldn't say it's my favorite though.
It wasn't as funny as the other ones.
Oh, I haven't seen any of the movies that came out this year.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I guess I don't really watch the movies.
Oh, I forgot King Richard was good. A Quiet Place Part 2.
I'm not into that.
Anybody seen that? I know Mira seen that.
I saw it. I wasn't into it. I did see it.
Oh man, I was into
Oh,
both of them, and I couldn't wait till the second one came out.
monster looking things.
Emma Corrigans. Thanks. I'm gonna put that on the list.
Oh my God! Back to the Outback. Anura and I watched that movie. Hold on. Let me
I
put
thought
it.
this even counted as a movie.
That was, yes, it does. Anura,
Mm.
y'all should have seen Anura's face when we were watching it. It was the cutest little thing. Look at this. Can you see? Don't they look so cute? Well, they look a little scary in that one. Hold on. Let me.
They are. Oh, Ryan the Last Dragon was great.
Yes, I had Amira watch it.
Ryan
Amira
the Last
and Malika watched
Dragon.
it. Look at it was the cutest movie in the world.
Oh man.
I never really enjoyed it.
That's
I'm trying to act like it did.
It's alright. I've seen
Yes,
better.
you have to watch Out to the Outback. I mean, Back to the Outback, please.
Yeah, that's my top.
It was emotional for me. I didn't cry, but
Everything's
I don't know. I was just going through something. And this
all right.
so cute.
Next one.
But look at that.
What was your favorite meal that you prepared this year?
That I
You did
prepared.
a lot, so you probably don't remember.
I do.
I can count on my hands how many full meals I've made this year.
I do. This 2021 was my first year making bean soup. Obviously, every time it came out different. Yeah, it was my first year making bean soup. Every time I made it, I changed it because I'm trying to make it exactly to my liking. Because I like other people's bean soups. My top down favorite is Sister Wanda's bean soup.
I don't know who that
But
is.
it's not. I know, of course you don't. But I'm trying to make it to my liking, so I keep changing it. But that's my favorite dish to make at the moment.
Bean soup.
Yeah, but I made a lot of other dishes. I could show you, but I'm on my phone right now, so I can't.
My favorite meal.
How'd your bean soup catch on fire?
What?
How did that happen?
That sounds fun. What an experience.
You had to clean that pot out for sure.
What's my favorite meal? I think I got really good at making one of my favorite dishes, Alfredo, fettuccine Alfredo from Olive Garden. And I actually think mine tastes better than the actual dish at Olive Garden.
Oh.
Now it's kind of watered down and trash. And seasoned and creamy and very delicious. And I'm very proud of myself for getting really good at that one.
Proud of you.
See, that's my favorite meal. And smoothies. I can make a smoothie now. I used to live off of smoothies for my first 6 months of living here because I know how to cook and I feel like cooking. I ain't had time. So, if you need a smoothie, I can make it. I'm pretty good at that.
I'll add salmon to my list too. I learned how to make salmon this year.
Salmon too. I learned how to do that.
Very nice. You know what? We should do a spam on our stories of food we cooked this year.
You can do that.
I said we should do that.
That doesn't have to be a team effort, my dear.
No, I never made a bean pie, but I think Anura tried to make a bean pie. Did you make a bean pie? No, Amira makes bean pie. Amira made a bean pie.
She makes bean pie. I'm gonna need a recipe, G.
Yeah, Amira has a restaurant. And they have bean pie.
She has a restaurant?
Yeah, Amira cooks beef.
You said it was closed.
Nyah, we can what? Make a bean pie?
I wanna make a bean pie. Okay, next one.
Are you making these things up off the top of your head? Or you actually have
No, I wrote them down.
You didn't tell me about these things.
Okay? I said I am right. Forget it. Anyways, favorite trip or memory?
Yeah, let's post our favorite trip or memory?
What favorite trip?
This year? Yes. I mean, I think I probably only went like one place this year, which was to Mexico. I went to Mexico, so.
I thought you went somewhere else.
I don't. Oh, you know what? Yes, I did. I went to Florida. I went to Florida and Mexico. Florida was fun because I went with two of my friends and my family. So my family and my friends came, and we had a lot of fun together. You know, the sun, the pool, the beach. It had a lot of weird stuff in there at that time of the year. But and then I went to Mexico, which was just absolutely beautiful, and it was spiritual and got to eat some good food. And I wore DeModest. Look at me, y'all. I actually wore DeModest in Mexico, and I took some pictures, and I was just loving it. I was loving it, and I was fitting in. And I have been working on my Spanish because my family is from Puerto Rico, and so yeah, I'm working on my Spanish, but it's more of a Mexican dialect of Spanish than Puerto Rican. But hey, it's quite all right. Quite all right. Had a lot of fun. Amira just does everything. But yes, Amira, please post your food with me. How about everybody that's on this live right now? Just post some dishes that you made this year.
Usual. Those are
Post some dishes that you made. You too, Anura. You too. But what was your favorite trip? Disney?
Disney was nice. And it was great having that experience for my own. But I took a trip with my mom for my birthday. Actually treated her to a trip. The Universal Studios in Florida. And I got to see her just like be a kid again, just a child. And we just did a bunch of random things. We did go-kart, and then we did like laser tag, and then played golf. And we had a lot of fun. So that's probably my favorite trip.
That's fun.
2021. That was fun. A lot of fun.
That sounds fun.
All right. Last question. What are your goals for 2022? Small. 3 small. So like maybe something personal you want to do with your life.
Something personal that I want to do in my life?
3
well,
small.
For sure, for 2022, I need to have an internship. Walaikum salam.
You have to.
I need to have an internship in my field, which is architecture. So, you all heard that. If you all know any architecture firms, any engineering firms that, looking for architecture students for internships, let me know. Please. I'd appreciate it.
Thought you already had an offer, G.
Huh?
Thought you already had an offer.
I have options, but I'd like to kind of be with people who kind of know me, or at least I know, or that are people of color,
Beggars can't be choosers.
If anybody has that, any opportunities, please let me know. But besides that, really just a goal would be just to give myself to Allah God more than I already have. Vote everything to him. Texas might be good for architecture internships. Oh, might be taking a trip to Amira. Thank you.
It is hot all the time. So.
Amira, I can stay at your house? Thank you. I'll camp in the backyard. You guys, I'm just kidding. Maybe. But I don't know, Anura, what about you?
I haven't sat down and thought about it yet. But I know the other day I was thinking about this year. And for next year, I really want to start giving more. So, in like all aspects, giving my time, energy, my expertise, my talents, just giving it to the world a lot more.
Yeah.
And, similar to you, becoming a more What are you gonna say? Or a better vessel or a logo to use.
Mm,
And so, in order to do that, that's going to require, self development.
yeah.
Staying on the right track because it's hard, but striving. What else? Just be like more free. I
What
don't
does that
know.
mean?
And what?
Be more free. What?
There's
What
no
does
such
that mean?
thing. Well, I don't know. This year, up until like September, August, I was very stressed, overwhelmed. So that probably will not stop if I'm going to be a vessel, because that's literally what I asked this year. I was a vessel. So, but when I say free, I mean like I don't have to put too much thought into things.
Uh-huh.
Like just the freedom to go do things when I want to, which is probably why I'm going to hire an assistant or an editor to do my content for me, because I don't want to do that anymore. I just want to come up with ideas and do them.
Nice. Nice.
But yeah, it's just ideas. I don't know. I haven't put anything in paper yet.
Well,
But
you all
big goals.
if anybody's a good editor, reach out to Anura. She's gonna be looking for an assistant soon.
Or I'm going to be training people up because I'm going to teach people how to create content the way using your phone and your iPad, because a lot of people think that you need a professional editing platform or program to make high quality videos, and you don't. I have started the journey of mastery towards micro content, and I'm going to teach people how to do that. Inshallah, 2022.
Yeah. I have one more goal.
A big goal, like a long
goal.
something big you want to do next year.
Well, yeah, I need to implement discipline in my life because I feel like now I'm sorry, the improper grammar. I just do and do and do without setting enough, structure. Like,
Yeah,
I need to be like, I'd be like, I'm
but
sorry, improper grammar. What I do is I may be like, I'm going to do this and this and that, but then I don't set, certain amount of time for something. And so then I run over in the other thing, and then I don't get the other thing completed because I've been over here doing things, or I may be doing something and then I get distracted. And yeah, I just need to set some discipline for myself. Because I do work on a lot of projects outside of my own self and myself projects, and I work on other people's projects, and then I'm lacking in self-care and everything, so I gotta stay on top of that. But what were you saying, Nora?
Self-love and self-care is self-discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline what you love.
Yeah, we talk about that in ID9. Please register for our event by clicking the link in my bio, and then click the one that says ID9. Our next event is on Saturday, 10 a.m., January 1st. Discipline. Huh? What'd you say?
I said that is Saturday. Wow.
Yeah. But y'all, let's have some discipline in our lives. The reason why it's January 1st in the morning at 10 a.m. is because, we have stuff to be doing. We don't have time to be partying all night.
I have time.
Not focusing on where we need to be, where we want to be. You always have to continuously strive. Not saying you can't take breaks. Of course, please take breaks. You're going to burn yourself out if you don't take breaks. But discipline is what we need in our lives. A lot of us, I'm not the only one, we need discipline in our lives. You want something to happen? Make it happen. You want a new job? Get that new job. You want a new car? And Nora wanted a car? She did what she needs to do to get the car. She made her money. Work. Don't be afraid to put in work. Because when you are afraid to put in that work, you're not going to get it. It's not going to happen. So just do it. Like Nike. Just do it. Make it happen.
At Nyah.
Be and it is. Okay? But click the link in my bio, please. Please register for our next event. Yay.
At Nyah.
You said bad, Nyah?
Said at Nyah.
Huh? Are you trying to tell me that I need to do? Wow. I mean, well, yeah, I need to hear it too.
Yeah, we speak and teach on what we need. You know?
Yeah. What was corny, Amira?
Yeah, yeah. Getting back to discipline and structure. We thrive as human beings when we have structure and discipline. You know, it's how things get done. Things don't get done by doing them every now and again. No, progress and things get done when we do them on a consistent basis. So discipline enough to keep doing things consistently, even if at first you don't see progress. Just know eventually, as long as you're making the correct moves, they're not just out here doing nothing. Planning, praying, and executing.
Right.
With everything. But another one of my big goals for next year is moving. I have 6 months. I'm supposed to be out. I don't want to be here another 6 months. I wasn't supposed to be here these 6 months, but I'm here. Why? That's not even a stormtrooper hat. I don't know if that is. But not a stormtrooper hat. I don't know what that is. Looks cool though. I would love a stormtrooper helmet. If anyone wants to give me one,
you would love what?
Stormtrooper helmet. That would be cool.
Maybe one around this house somewhere.
But one of my big goals for next year is to move into a nice
in Chicago.
Nice apartment.
In Chicago.
I don't know where yet.
Because I'm in Chicago.
But a nice apartment.
Chicago.
Somewhere. I don't want to be cold no more.
My love will keep you warm.
That ain't warm enough. I need the sun.
I'll get you like one of those lights, you know, you have for your turtles. One of those indoor lights.
I'm a turtle now? Okay. Thanks. Appreciate it.
We got a, what was your biggest challenge this year? Question.
Realizing that independence ain't it. For me, realizing that independence ain't it. That's actually one of the main lessons that I learned within a week of moving in on my own. Because I was like, dang, I gotta do all of this by myself. And this is tiring. This is hurting my hands. I am too weak to physically pick this up and move it. And I don't want to wait on somebody to come do it because they're going to take forever. So I learned that I am not a fan of long-term independence. I do not want this for the rest of my life. I actually desired this because I want to see what it was like. Now that I know what it's like, it's for the birds. But I'm grateful I'm here. I asked for it. I learned so much about myself, and I'm grateful for that. I kind of needed it.
Pray before long.
I wouldn't have happened if I didn't need it. But yeah, that's the biggest challenge this year was comprehending that you don't need to be independent and that you are literally stressing yourself out for nothing when you think you have to do everything yourself. Like, no one's telling you these things. You are telling you these things. So, that was my biggest challenge. One of them that I can think of right now.
While you were talking, I was trying to think about what my biggest challenge was, and I really don't know. I need to do some reflecting on this year, but I don't know. And just realizing that I don't have to do everything on my own. Oh, you know what? I did have a challenge this year. It was a very big challenge. It was a trial for me. I had to learn that just because no, I'll say it this way. I had to learn that we're all growing and we're all still developing and we're all still striving. So we're not perfect. None of us are perfect. And so there may be good people out here who just maybe had a slip up one day. And so they may have done something to you, but that does not make them an overall bad person. They're not a bad person just because of one thing. And I had to learn that. Because even personally for myself, there are some days where I just may, not be the best person. I may be a little mean to somebody. But let's say I'll be mean to my brother or something. But that doesn't make me a terrible person overall just because I've been mean to somebody one day. Because at the end of the day, I'm still striving. At the end of the day, we're still striving, inshallah. I pray that we are still striving. And so one event does not make that person a bad person. And yeah, forgive. Allah is the most merciful. If Allah can forgive for us, if Allah can forgive me for doing all these crazy things I have done in my life, then
yeah, if he forgave you, you can forgive you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I started reading this comment. I'll read it in just a moment. But yeah, if Allah can forgive me for all these crazy things that I've done in my life, I can forgive somebody else. That doesn't mean forget what has happened, because you shouldn't do that, but you should forgive and move on. Because if you don't forgive, then you're not going to be able to grow from that situation. You're going to always hold some type of anger towards that person. You're going to always hold something against them. Yeah. Let me read this comment now.
I'm so lost.
For Two Sister Tuesdays, y'all flow is off. Y'all on the same phone screen, but the sister themselves up, like y'all energy ain't clicking like last time. Y'all free. Could you rephrase that?
I'm sorry. Not sorry. I don't understand the question.
I don't think it was a question. I think it was a statement. But if you rephrase that, but you know what? It could be, well, not our flow being off. I don't know. I'm in a different place at the moment. I'm not where I normally am. And I guess today's topic was kind of more fun because we were talking about our favorite things rather than sharing more like we normally do. Sister to sister flow is off.
What did you say? You said something about that we're all work in progresses. Did you say something like that? We're all developing, we're all growing.
Yeah, we're all striving, inshallah. Pray we are.
Yeah. We're all human.
We're human.
I think I humanized.
None of us are perfect.
Everybody. Yeah, I think I humanized everyone.
Allah came in the person, Master Prophet Muhammad too.
Yeah.
Make us perfect. Make this a perfect world. But we're not there yet, so.
So yeah, big things coming 2022. Right?
I don't know what they are, but big
Saber's Day?
Oh, Saber's Day for sure. That's gonna be really big. I'm telling you all now, I will be disguised.
She will be disguised.
Recognize me.
You wear like 5 masks and a shield, still gonna recognize you. First of all, you don't dress like absolutely no one else on this planet.
That's true.
Second of all,
sadly, that's true.
You are very bright. Bright people say 10 stand.
It's winter time, okay?
It's still gonna be winter time. No, I didn't. But I think we've been on. Tried to get on. When did we really start? I think it was like 8. No, it was 7 something.
Let's see. We've been on here for an hour and 12 minutes.
Yeah, but we started at 7. Technical difficulties for like 15 minutes. So, what does that mean?
I think it was Anura. The problem was Anura and her.
I think it was you.
No, because we had a live. There was no problem, you know?
Whatever.
What
But yeah, we've been on here for a while. I think we pretty much laid down the thing.
Yeah.
Good thing comes with this next month, actually. What was our topic of discussion? What did we come up with? What are we supposed to talk about?
It's self-development, bettering ourselves, something along those lines.
Yeah. Bettering ourselves, healing our inner child.
Yeah, you know, depression, going through hard times.
Getting out of those hard times. We're just gonna talk. Human to human. Sister to sister.
Sister to sister.
That's
sister. Go on YouTube and search it up. Sister to sister.
Don't tell me what to do.
I that real fast.
Don't tell me what to do.
I wasn't telling you.
Okay.
Girl. All right. Well, I love y'all. It is time for me to go. I'm in school join my family. We have another question. Should we answer this real fast? Okay, I'll answer it real fast. What are you looking forward to most next year? I have absolutely no idea. I have no idea. Honestly, I've just been trying to day to day. I'm trying to make it to the next day. I have no idea. I have not really been thinking about it yet. I'm not there. My brain, 2022, 2021, I'm like back here somewhere.
Dang, I'm supposed to be answering questions.
Get back to you.
I'm looking forward to inshallah good memories, good people, you know. I don't know, whatever Allah has for me, honestly. I don't like to plan too much anymore because things are best when they are in his hands, not necessarily mine. So I just go with the flow. Hey, whatever happens. But I do want to make my way to Hawaii at some point or outside the country. So looking forward to doing that, inshallah. Because I got work coming.
I'm just looking forward to building myself up more. I'm just looking forward to being better than I was this year. Being able to look back and be like, wow, that's where I started. That's where I came from. And this is where I'm at. All praises to Allah. Because I couldn't have done anything if it weren't for the help of Allah. And it weren't for the Honorable Mursal's Farrakhan. And if it weren't for the Honorable Muhammad.
So look forward to getting back.
Yeah. But okay. That is it, you all. Thank you so much for joining today. We were truly appreciated. And join us next Tuesday. And all the Tuesdays after that. 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Anura and I, we have a couple of different names that were given to us.
Purpose light.
Tuesday sisters.
Tuesday. I don't know.
Tuesdays, yeah, a whole bunch of things. But we appreciate it. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. That was abrupt assalamu alaikum, but
assalamu alaikum. Peace.